Hey y'all, I have been gone for so long that I forgot how to operate StreamYard, I guess. I was trying to get ready to go live and I was like, something is wrong. I'm missing something. But anyway, I'm back. I know it's been a minute. I looked and the last time I went live doing a chit chat was May the 9th. Today is June the 21st. So yeah, it's been a minute. But in my defense, I can't use this for the entire excuse. But in my defense, I have had a lot going on with work and with my side business and family stuff too. Since I talked to y'all last, we've had my oldest niece has graduated from high school. She is now a graduate and getting ready to go to Wichita, Kansas to start her um, college years at a school there where she's gonna be playing flag football. So very proud of her, and it was crazy seeing her graduate because I'm just like, Lord, it seemed like it was just yesterday she was born, and now she walked across that daggone stage. And when I tell y'all, it was over 400 kids in her graduating class. She was in well, they're not in Atlanta, they're outside of Atlanta in the McDonald area, but 400. When I looked at that list of names and I thought about the fact that they had to call out each one of those names individually. Hey, Ben Stinker, how you doing? Glad to see you. Um, yeah. When I thought about they gonna call out every single 400 names, and but believe it or not, the principal was on it, baby, and it was like a broad mix. There were like a lot of foreign students with difficult names that got like 10 syllables. Then you had the students from the newer generation where it's hard to pronounce some of the names, but I don't know if she practiced the night before, but she ran through them names like everything. Before I knew it, because my niece's last name, of course, is King. So she was midway the alphabet. And I just kept watching like, we're gonna be sitting here forever. We're gonna be sitting here forever. But she ran through it and got them. I don't know if she mispronounced anything, but it sounded like she hit the nail on the head with all them to me. And we was up out of there. I think it started at 7, and we were done by like, let's say 9, maybe 9:30. But they had it at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So um, the location was good. Like it had the like if you needed to get to your seats and you couldn't get there, they had like the carts and stuff to take people to their seats, which was good because my dad had some issues with mobility right now. So it was nice. Also, my youngest niece was just 2 nieces. The oldest one graduated. The young one had a birthday Sunday on Father's Day, and she is now 13. Lord have mercy. We got 2 teenagers in the family now. My daughter's 13. My niece is 13. So I'm just like, oh, I'm so not ready for this. But ready or not, we got some teenagers. Some school is out, of course. Um, Naya finished off the year strong. She made the honor roll. Um, I think she had 4 A's and 1 B. So I was proud. She did good this year. She made honor roll 3 out of the 4 quarters. Yeah. Is it 4? 1, 2. Yeah, 3 out of 4 quarters. She made honor roll. So I was glad to see that. Hey, viewers of you. Thank you for the thumbs up and the share. Oh, thank you. Look, I had to go in the closet. I tell Nina Pooh, I got all of her sisters in the closet, and I was like, I ain't pulled this one out in a while. Let me dust this out and put some oil sheen on it and bring it back to life. So, yeah, I decided to whoop out old girl. What else has been going on? that's about it. I gotta find something for Naya to do for the summer, in which it's almost over. You might as well say they start back school August the 2nd. So it's already the 21st of June. So we got what, 9 days in this month, 31 days in next month, and they right back at school. I was like, this ain't long. This break don't be long enough. Cause when we were in school, me and my friends talk about this all the time. When we were in school, we started like the end of August, and we went to like the middle of May. They got out May the 23rd, and they go back August the 2nd. But they have all them little breaks in between. That we didn't have a fall break when I was in school. Yeah, you had just got done with the summer. What you need a break for? So we didn't get that. We got like sometimes it would be a little over 2 weeks for Christmas. But when you were a kid, it felt like you was out of school for like a month. So that was that. And then, of course, we had the spring break. So I'm like, I don't like starting back this fast, which, she getting older now, so I don't have to help as much with homework. I was worried about me. I'm like, I ain't ready for school to start back. I need a break from having to help with homework and everything. But she did good last year. I had to help her a little bit, but not a whole lot. So she's going to 8th grade, and she's going to a new school. So we're gonna see how it goes. What else has been going on? The man that had his foot on my neck. That's why y'all ain't seen me. My regular job, we had a big project that had to be pushed out, and everything I do is on a deadline driven, which I don't mind because I'm one of those people doing stuff. I'm already a procrastinator, but whenever something comes up, I get like an adrenaline rush when there's a deadline. So I'm usually okay with a deadline. I don't freak out too bad, and it's like just the victory of getting it done during the time, is enough to make me, want to go and get up and do it. So, but they hit me with this one out of the blue. I didn't see it coming. So I had to work. I had to turn off all my social media and focus on getting my work done because I'm like, they're not playing with this. So I had 2 weeks where I didn't. Yeah, well, I may have like clicked on Facebook 1 or 2 times, but I wasn't posting or going on TikTok, none of that stuff. I was like, you got to get this work done. So that's done. And I've been caught up with everything pretty much ever since then, which is a good thing. Yeah. So I was like, let me get on here today since I fell off so bad. Let me get on here and say something for a little while. Now I did share on my community wall yesterday. Every now and then I will go in and check on my investment. Now my business that I do from home is a financial success business where you're teaching people about finances, updating your W-4, taxes, getting write-offs, all that type of thing. So I try to put a good amount of time into that as well. And that's actually, that gives me a break from all the boring stuff that I have to do with my regular job. So I'm okay with taking off time to do that. But I was going back in, checking my investments. I started my investments late. I didn't really get serious about retirement until I was like 40. So before then, every time I changed jobs, I cashed out the retirement. They took their 40% for taxes, and I took what was left and did something crazy with it. So I wasn't real responsible as far as them. And now I can kick my own ass because I'm like, had I been doing what I should have been when I first started working, I could be so close to retirement. Right now, my goal was to retire at 55. I'll be 50 next year. Whether or not that's gonna happen, we'll have to see. But one of the things Tony and I, we do we used to have a series. I'm gonna say used to because we hadn't done a live in I know over a month. But it used to be every Tuesday, Thursday, me and Tony would come on and we would do this series called Let's Talk Finance. And a lot of times it would be just me and him, but every now and then we would be able to get a guest to come in and kind of talk to us about some financial things. So one of our earlier guests from June 20 was one of our business partners, June Collier. Now, June Collier is he's the VP of marketing and a whole lot of other hats he wears for the company that we work for. And he was kind of, I asked him, I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? And he said that he wanted to talk about investing. So I'm like, well, that's a good thing, because that's something else. Like our company, we don't usually tell you what to invest in. That's not what we're here for. But we do have leaders that are very familiar with investment, and they kind of teach you what some of the words mean, how to read your statements, the difference between some people do aggressive, some people don't do, they'll do less aggressive. Then there's a midpoint as far as your investments. And I would be the first to say that when I first started with this company, I had no idea how to read my 401k doohickey. So they would send the statement. I would open up the statement and see whether I had a gain or a loss. Just as far as I made it with the statement. Anything outside of that, I didn't know what they were talking about. So I found it real helpful when I got started that I learned what questions I need to ask so that I could be more involved with my own 401k, because the way I had it set up, it was just whatever the company suggested. They come in, this is my thing. When you first start the job, you got orientation. Usually the last part of the day is when they come in talking about your 401k and your investments. And at this point, your mind is fried. You've been listening to stuff all day long, and you kind of tired of retaining. So it's pretty much like going through the motions. You sign whatever you need to sign. Boom, there's your 401k, 403b, whoever you work. So I never really understood what I was signing. I knew I was signing they were going to take the money out of my check. And I know I got to choose what percentage it was going to be. But that's as far as my knowledge went about what I was investing in. So when I started this business, because I knew I was already behind and I needed to kind of play catch up, I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive with my, retirement. So based on what I learned from this business, I got with a financial person from the company I went with was Primerica. I'm sure a lot of you guys have family friends that do Primerica, or some of the other Charles Schwab, some of the other companies that help you with investments. So I went with Primerica, and I sat down with the guy, and we looked at, Bill, you work in finance? Well, you need to come up and talk sometimes with us. I love having people who know something teach us about something that we don't know. So I would love to have you on as a guest, or me and Tony when we do our, I ain't gonna tell you when we do ours. So I would love to have you on as a guest to kind of clear up some misconceptions or even answer some questions. Because here's the thing, a lot of times I didn't ask questions before because I didn't know what questions to ask. Like I said, I read that statement when they sent it to me. I saw gains and losses. That's as far as my knowledge went. So when I sat down with my Primerica person, he basically, I told him that I want to do something not super aggressive, but, a little better than what I was doing. Because if you're, most times what you look at is, and I learned this since doing this business, it used to be, if I didn't have a job that would match my 401k deductions, I would be like, I know it was one time I didn't even do it because I was like, that's like a savings account. I can do my own savings account. But that was before I understood about, whenever you decide to do, or you don't do investment, you do reporting. Yeah, but okay, but that's still good. That means you speak the lingo. So if you hear me say anything that sounds out of whack, slap my hand and correct me, because I'm open to it. Ben Tinker is Primerica, the life insurance company. Yeah, they do life insurance as well. They do life insurance and, investing, like money market accounts, retirement accounts, whatever you're looking to do. They can help you with that. So I've been with them since 2016, I think. I got I rolled over one retirement account to them. Then I started, instead of doing a savings account with the bank, I do a money market account where it gets I researched what you look at. Usually is rate of return. A lot of times if you deal with the bank, the rate of return sucks. I know I have a savings account, and every now and then I get something that say, I got 10 cents added. So that bank savings account was not really building into anything for me. So what I ended up doing was switching over to a money market account, and I looked at the mutual funds to see which ones had a decent rate of return, and that way my money is still liquid, meaning I can get a hold to it when I need to, but it takes me like a couple of days, which is good if you're an impulse shopper. So like if you're the type of person that if you see something, you're gonna buy it, that might be a good route for you to go, because for me, like anytime I've had to use I try not to get I treat that money market account like it's my emergency fund. So I try not to go into it unless I really, really, really have to. I pretty much just forget about it. So when I do have to go in, what I'll do is it takes 48 hours, so I know to do it a couple days early. So if you're out looking at something that you don't need to buy, and you're like, oh, I do got some money in that, but I can't get to it. They give you time to think about it and figure out whether you really need it or not. If you got to go to that account, you need to be thinking, is this something I really need? So I find it good for impulse spending, which I'm not a big shopper, as far as like clothes and stuff like that. I don't get excited about that. So my purchases are usually pretty structured. I don't just blow a bunch of money on stuff. So anyway, so my Primerica person basically explained some stuff to me, and we updated my 401k on the job and changed some of the investments that we were doing. And I immediately saw a difference when I started going back and looking at how the account was going. So yeah, every so often, because I have I try to do several different accounts so that I can have money, growing in different places. Don't keep your eggs all in one basket. So I have job 401k, I have a T. Rowe Price account, I have Charles Schwab account for myself, and I started a retirement account for my daughter, even though she's just 13. It's never too early to get started. So she has an account, and then I have the Primerica account. So every month I have money put into those that I just forget about. And that's the one thing, when you're investing, don't give away money that you will need. Give away money that if you put, you're not giving it away. Invest money that you will not miss if you can't get to it. So I forgot what's the word for it, Pam? What they call it? Disposable income, I think. So usually if it's disposable income, it's like you won't miss it anyway. And then at times, if you need to go back in and adjust it, because at one point I was putting like $250 every 2 weeks into a one of my investment accounts. But then when times got hard and the market started getting loopy, I had to kind of adjust it, and I went back and changed it to 150. So you can decide how much you want to put in or not. But like if it's an amount that you won't miss, it'll be less likely that you will worry about it. So my thing is the market lately, because like with my T. Rowe Price account, I get an update every day via email to tell me what the closing price was on the money I have invested. And when I first started with that account, I chose one. I'm not real good with knowing about stocks, but I learned enough to be dangerous, as they say. I learned enough to be able to know that I'm looking at a rate of return. I want to see what the rate of return has been since they started, what it's been since like a year ago. So that kind of gives you an idea of how the money flow is going. So when as a goal, I said I wanted to get something that was between like 9 and 12% as a base. Like if I found higher, good. If I didn't, as long as it was in that range, I felt comfortable with it, because the whole thing is You want to outplace the rate, outlast or out save the rate of inflation. And inflation is just all these gas prices going up, food prices going up. What else? If you rent, your rent went up, and it's just how the economy changes. And over the last year after COVID, it's been crazy. Well, let me take that back. Immediately after COVID, it kind of had a nice build, but then over the last year, I've noticed that I go in and look at that amount. Some days, like when I started, it was $60 for that particular stock. It got to a point where it got down to like $45 a share. Then I think at one point it was over $100 a share. So the price of what the stock is worth was going up, and sometimes it dipped back down. The good thing about the market that I've learned, and if a lot of you were homeowners or went through, in 2008, for a lot of people, as far as their retirement and their stocks and stuff were concerned, it was a crazy year. Now, luckily for me, I didn't lose nothing because I wasn't doing right no way. So that was one time by me not having a savings, it didn't hit me very hard. But a lot of people lost a lot of money because of how the economy dipped. So, I think this last go around wasn't as, this is my first time actually having some money in there when it started rocking. But here's the good thing. The economy usually will even itself out at some point, because I hear a lot of people say that they finally recovered from the 2008 losses, after a while. The good part, if you're a long-term investor, like for me, like I said, I started when I was 40. I put my money in and I don't look at it no more because I know I can't touch it anyway until I retire. So it's not like I'm on there every day really looking to sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I'm not in it like that. But I do like to keep an eye on what it's doing. So I think now mine has finally gotten to a point where it's above the cost that it was when I first got it. So it's like at $80 a share now versus, it had dipped down like 50 something. At one point it was 100 or something. So, it's been up and down. But here's the good part about when the prices go low. That means when you buy, okay, at 40, if I'm putting $100 a month into my stock for this fund, and the price goes down to $50. Well, now my $100 that I put in every month is gonna buy me 2 shares. Now, when the price is higher, like 80 some dollars, I'll only be able to get 1 point something share. If it goes over $100, I won't even get a full share, but the value of each share that I already had. So let's say I got 20 shares and the price today is $50 a share. So that means what? 20 times 50, 100. Okay. Tomorrow, if it were $100 a share and I got 20 shares, well, that's a whole another story. So even though I can't buy as much, as many shares as I would, the shares that I have at the higher price are worth more money. So it's kind of like if you're in it for a while, because I even called my broker and I was like, should I be concerned or should I just get somewhere to sit down? And he was like, I wouldn't change nothing, I wouldn't move anything, just chill. So I was like, okay. And I did. So, but the whole point of going all around the world to this story is we had one of our associates, Young Collier, to come on and talk about investing. And what he challenged us to do was to invest $1 for every hour you work in a year. So let's say average work week is 40 hours a week, right? So that's $40 times 4 weeks, or you can even just go ahead and do See, a week, dollar a week, 52 weeks in a year times 5 days, whatever. So what you're doing is for every hour you work, if you work 40 hours this week, you're gonna put aside $1 a day for every hour, and that's 40 at the end of the week, you got $40. And then, keep building on it. So he basically went over, if you put in $1 a day and it's not invested, like just you putting in $1 a day, even if say you put it on your mattress, he gave us a breakdown of how much you would have in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, all that stuff. So then, thank you, Ben Stinker. Thank you. Because honey, my mind was sitting here drawing blank. So if you put in $1 for every hour you work for a year, and let's say he used as an average return on investment, meaning like what percentage you're getting for it. He mentioned 7%. He said that's average for the market, right? So what he broke down for us is like, if you did $1 an hour for every hour you work for a year, in 5 years, you would have $11,454. And I got it pulled up on the side. That's why I keep looking up there. And at the end of 10 years, you have $27,693. So yeah, 2080. That's exactly right. So he basically was just showing us the difference between, putting money aside and like say under your mattress versus putting it in an account where it's drawing some interest. And I based on that conversation we had with him, that was June 25th, 2020. So come a few days from now, it's gonna be exactly 3 years. Now what I decided to put in $20 a week, which is not, that doesn't come out to $1 for every hour. But because I had some other investments going on, my total investments did come out equaling $1 for every hour I work. So anyway, I did 20 a week with Acorns. I don't know if you guys have heard of Acorns. It's like an investment thing. What the reason he suggested that one, because it's very simple and very easy to get started. When you go in, you set up how much you decide, you let them know what your goal is. Like they ask you questions, general questions, nothing super hard. And so based on your responses is how they're going to invest your money. So I think when I went in, I told them I wanted something moderately aggressive, not nothing too risque out there, but something that's better than just a savings account. So, but what I also did, and this is what I was so tickled about, they had an option where you could do the roundups. Roundups is basically where you're telling them, and you can choose whether you want to do up to the nearest 50 cent, to the nearest 75 cent, nearest dollar, whatever you want to do. So I took my debit account because that's what I usually use when I run to the store, run to grab fast food. Now, I don't use it pretty much for groceries or gas because I have another card that I set aside specifically for those things. But this card is just for like little, yin yang stuff when I run to the store or whatever. So whatever I buy, it rounds it up to the next dollar. And that change, so let's say I buy something that's $6.45. It's going to round it up to 7. It's going to take that 55 cents and put it into an investment account. So based on 20 cents here, 30 cents there, whatever, since 2020, just in the roundups alone, I looked at the account and I have $1,022 in it. And I was like, you know what? That is really good, because considering if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have anything to show for that change that I had left over. It would just went on something else. And it's like you don't really miss it when you're swiping. Like you go to McDonald's or something called $6.79. When they take that 21 cent, you're not really focusing on that 21 cent came out of your account. And so I thought that was really good. So I shared in the comments, or the the part at the bottom, the drop down at the bottom, I shared the link to my Acorns account. which allows you to go ahead and gives you $5 to get started. Hey, baby, it gives you $5 to get started with your investments. You decide what you want to invest. You decide if you want to give them $1 a week, $1 a day, or you can just do like I did, just go in and do your change from your debit card. So, I know a lot of people be like, well, $1,000 in 3 years, that's not a lot of money, but how much would you have had you not invested? Because, and think about it like that, my money has grown. So, altogether, I think that account has grown to like 4 or 5,000, but 1,000 of that, $1,000.22 of that is just from loose change that I had left over from purchasing. So I thought that was great, and that's why I shared it yesterday. For anybody who wants to get started, you can click the link, set up your account, decide what you want to do. I also included in the drop down the video where Tony and I had the conversation with June about investing. And it was a really good conversation, y'all. June is very knowledgeable, and he breaks things down in a way that you can really understand, what he's talking about. He doesn't try to talk over your head or make you feel dumb, nothing like that. So if you get a chance, check that video out. It was 1 hour and 3 minutes, not super long, but it was really good information. And when I saw how much it was, I shared with him on Facebook yesterday, and I was like, we need to have you come back and do a where are we now, so I can kind of share the progress I've had since we started back then. And he thought that was a great idea. So hopefully we'll have that coming up soon and stuff. But I just wanted to share that with y'all because investing, it's, I think because we don't understand it, and I know that I'm just speaking for myself, because I didn't understand it. I wasn't very gung-ho on it before. And the people that I was listening to about it, which may have been like people who have never invested anything in their life, that's telling me what happened to their cousin or what their auntie did, and they lost their money and this and the other. So it's like, if you listen to all of that bad information, it'll make you fearful about doing it. So I had to learn, you ain't gonna sit around and talk to your Aunt Pearl, who saved her money and put it under her mattress for 10 years about investing, because she don't know. She gonna tell you, girl, you better put that money under your mattress. Can't nobody get to it. It's gonna be safe, blah, 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 blah. So, it's just very important, I think, to not be afraid to ask questions. And that was that is the thing, because I was really embarrassed by the fact that when I was 40, I was just starting on my retirement, because I know people looking at me like, what were you doing all that time that you, and then it gets embarrassing because of the dumb decisions, the dumb purchases, all that stuff. But everybody grows at their own time. I try really hard to be an influence on my daughter, because even though she's 13, at some point I need her to understand how money works. And so she doesn't always want to hear it, but she hear it anyway. When I first started the business, she was 5. She went to all the meetings with me. When we started hosting meetings, she was my hostess, made sure everybody got signed in, did all that stuff. So I've kept her as a part of the process ever since she was 5. She's 13 now. So I feel like, if nothing else, she's heard enough to know some questions to ask, So the other thing we find, speaking of the business, we had it used to be every quarter we would get together when I first joined this business and meet up with other business associates in Atlanta, because the business is based out of Atlanta. And so we would meet up, and it would be sort of like a refresher or a motivational or whatever. They used to call it game changer. So when I first started, I lived in Birmingham, which is on 2 hours from Atlanta, so it wasn't nothing. Now I'm just a little further ride for him. It's like 3.5 hours now, but still, it is worth it. And we had to kind of let that go during COVID, because we weren't doing face-to-face meetings, and everything went to. And actually, that's when this YouTube channel I have actually got some exercise in being live, because before we did our meetings in person. The first Saturday of every month, Tony and I would host a local meeting in Birmingham where we would go over information about our business. And then quarterly, we would have the meeting in Atlanta where we would get updates and be able to, be around your peers that are, all of y'all have the same motivation and everything. So, everybody came from different backgrounds. Nobody did the same type of work. We had teachers, doctors, people that worked in fast food. We had a little bit of everybody in there. And so, you got to a point where you were comfortable letting people know what you didn't know. Because a lot of times you don't want to say nothing because you're like, no, I probably should know these. If I've always heard the best way to let people know how ignorant or stupid you are is to open your mouth. As long as you sit there and you don't say nothing, don't nobody know but you and God. But if you open your mouth and you talk crazy, everybody know. So, like, I would be like, if I don't know something, I just ain't gonna speak on it. So, I had to get past that because people will assume that you know things, and then people will assume that you don't know stuff. So, that was something that I had to overcome. I'm glad I did though, because financially it has helped me out. Because me sitting back and not saying nothing wasn't gonna help at all. I hate to even think about where I would be at 49 had I not started getting more serious about my finances at 40. I would probably be pitiful. And one of the things that I found interesting about that video is in the beginning, Jill made the statement that, in the average household, 60% of Americans do not have $500 on hand that they could get to, like if they needed to, like if you got a car emergency or anything comes up. 6 out of 10, and that's 6 out of 10 people, 60%. And I was a part of that 60%, before, because like I said, I had a savings, but I would be dipping in it and then, moving it around and everything. So that's a scary thought. And I will say this, I did have an emergency come up when I was living out of town. It wasn't my emergency, but a family member called, and I remember feeling so bad because I'm like, I can't even offer to help because I didn't have the money put aside. I was making money, but I was spending money too. So when it was like a dire situation and my relative needed me, I couldn't do a thing, and it made me feel so bad. And I said at that point, I would not let that happen again. I gotta always have at least something set aside for emergencies because you never know. So I feel like I've grown and matured a lot financially compared to where I was, and I owe all of that to the business we do. So it was nice we had our meeting in Atlanta for the first time since before the pandemic. We had that about 2 Saturdays ago. And I drove down and got a chance to see a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while. And I saw the founders of the company. It was just nice. The computer, the networking online is okay, but sometimes you want to like be able to see some people, and especially for me because y'all know I work from home, so I don't see nobody. So it was nice to be able to get out and do that and hear about the positivity and other people's success. And it's not like they're throwing their success in your face. They're sharing their success to let you know that you can be successful too. That if I can do it, you can do it. And that really is true because, like I said, everybody comes from different backgrounds. But I think that's it as far as getting y'all caught up on what I've been doing since I was on my little break. Yeah, I've been working, and I'm still doing my got my products that I use. I already sprayed it today. I told y'all I do CTFO, which is a company where we sell CBD products, and this is a non-CBD product. So I've been using this spray. It's supposed to be very good with inflammatory issues, and heart issues. And I've shared with y'all before that I suffer from congestive heart failure. So I have been spraying every day. The other thing that I use, and I don't think I have it in here. I don't have the bottle in here, but it's like CBD based pain reliever that you rub. It's like a little roll on, and you rub it where it hurts. And you know, I got that on reorder, and it comes in handy because I still been trying to work on my weight and stuff. I hadn't made no tremendous leaps and bounds, but uh, I'm still working on it. But you know, anytime you exercise and your bones over 40 years old, you don't feel it. So I use that on my sore spots at night before I go to sleep. I rub down when I get up in the morning. I'm good to go. So if you're interested in any of the CTFO products, they are also the links for those are also um, down there. And at the meeting, we found out about a lot of new marketing things. So if you are a business owner and you're looking for a company to join to help you as far as record keeping and everything, we have some excellent tools. We also have excellent online marketing tools, and I'm so excited about those because they have made it easier and easier. And I like myself, I have a Facebook page, YouTube page, TikTok, and usually I'm sharing everything on all pages. So they have went and centralized a lot of different graphics and things that you can use regardless of what your business is and what you're selling, because it doesn't have anything on there about the product, but they're already laid out so that you can share. Because we are so fortunate that with social media, you got free advertising. Used to be people had to, pay to do commercials and all that stuff. Now you throw a post up and be your own commercial. So they've added a lot of new features that have made people look more professional. Like, a lot of the this girl walking through here, dry here. Um a lot of the graphics and videos and stuff, very nice. And it's like over 500 to 700. So depending on what your business is, if you're looking for something that has good online marketing suite, we have our cash flow manager, which is a great product for if you're tracking your expenses and all of that stuff for tax purposes. And I did learn something new. You know what? I was late with my taxes, and I'm gonna be honest. I just filed 2020, but I wasn't in a big hurry because I already knew that I wasn't going to owe. And if you don't owe, like if you owe, yeah, they're gonna take all that interest and late fees on there. But I knew I wasn't gonna owe, so I wasn't in a huge hurry. What I didn't realize is that the state of Alabama, you only have 2 years to file. So the refund that I was supposed to get back from the state, I will not get because it was past 2 years. So you learn something new every day. Was I happy about that? No, I was not. But lesson learned. Because I'm just like, now if I owed y'all would be on my ass. Every turn I made, I would be getting a letter, a phone call, or something. So, but they said like if they owe you and you wait longer than 2 years, they don't have to pay. Now they did offer some type of where you could do a what do you call it, an appeal, but I basically decided it wasn't like a huge amount, so I wasn't tripping. I just let it go. But I did not know that. So you learn something new every day. So if you're in Alabama and you're getting some money back, file within 2 years, or you more than likely will not get your money. All right, y'all. So it's been 45 minutes. I feel like I have gabbed and chit-chatted enough. So I am going to leave you guys until I come back, and I'm gonna do better. I do need to do better and be more consistent because I'm sitting here talking about all this free advertising, and every time I click that live button, there's a chance for me to advertise my home business or whatever else I want to do. So me sitting here and not hitting the button is all my fault. Vince Finger, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. I appreciate our viewers of view. Um, Glad y'all could come in and give me some feedback and everything. And I will see y'all the next time. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.